Amy and is a podcast that explores all kinds of bookish things, and that can include some pretty adult content. So please be aware that some of this content will be not safe for work or for young ears, and be careful who's listening when you are. Welcome to Amy and this is our live book club where we're discussing Olivia de Silva's Eggshell. I'm here with Abby and Peyton tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
And I want to acknowledge we're meeting on Ghana Yata today, this beautiful Ghana land, and we'd like to pay our respects to Ghana's elders past and present, and to acknowledge the rich storytelling traditions of this country. And we'd like to extend those respects to any First Nations people listening or watching our show. So welcome, guys. It's a skeleton crew tonight.
It really is.
Those pikers.
Yeah.
They have good excuses, every single one of them.
This is definitely the least amount of us that we've ever had. So
Yeah.
It is, I know. So there's a lot of heavy lifting to do, guys. We've got to get into this book.
I'm really nervous.
Yeah, it's like a tutorial where only two people turn up. Do you
Oh,
remember? Did
God.
that ever happen to you? I remember having a couple of those at uni. There was a philosophy one I went to when I was like a first year who could barely say a word, and only a couple of other people turned up, and I was like, "Oh, kill me now! Like I can't. I don't want to talk about this."
Philosophy of all things too.
Yeah, I always thought philosophy is harder than it actually is. Do you know, like you build it up in your
Yeah.
head as like, this is actually really deep and really hard.
Yeah.
Probably
I
still
also
is.
I never had that, but I do feel like it always just feels like there are only 3 people in the room at tutorials because no one talks.
Yeah.
yeah, there's only 3 people participating. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I will admit I'm not one of them.
Having taught you, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
By third year, you did in third year.
Yeah, look, I improved.
It's so funny because I was one who would just yap and yap and yap, but I was so severely embarrassed about that as well. I was like, this is so lame. Why don't I shut up?
Gosh, stop talking now. Oh my God. I do that too. I catch myself talking. I'm like, just stop. Like your anxiety is making you word vomit now. Stop it.
You during a lecture? Why do I keep talking?
Yeah. I talk too much. Don't write that down. That wasn't any good. Let me do that again. Anyway, welcome. We are actually wrapping up YA month, kind of, although it's a 5-week month. So we have our After Dark next week. So we will be doing a little bit of YA next week as well. But it's kind of the end of our YA journey for this month. I think we'll probably be returning to YA one day because it kind of raised a lot of knotty problems around, I don't know, like what constitutes a YA novel for a start. Like, is
I'm
it
still
just
angry about it.
Yeah. Why? Tell us about that. Why are you angry?
I just feel it's like how midwife is a protected term. Like adult means a specific thing, and it's that you are 18 years old or over. So I don't understand it, young adult, as an age category that is then skewed towards both teenagers and adults. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I see
Call
what
it
you
something
mean.
else.
Yeah. But I think maybe the confusion there has always been around the age of the protagonist. Because there's a lot of novels written for adults that are really about younger people, but very adult content, which is why I think this book's quite interesting to talk about. So we're going to, spoilers alert, guys, there'll be so many spoilers. Because I think one thing Olivia does, we should describe the book first. So I'm just diving straight in because I've been itching to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. We didn't even discuss the snack of the month.
Yeah. We didn't even do the snack, and you actually made the snack, both of you.
I know.
Right?
It's the only reason I'm bringing it up. If I hadn't have made the snack, I would have let you just pass straight through.
So we had deviled eggs. Hold them up again. They look amazing. I'm looking forward to you trying to eat them during the book club.
It's not going to happen. I feel like
I was just thinking about it.
I know. We're live. I can't eat.
Do you know I love deviled eggs, but I've never made one. Can you describe the process?
This is the
Oh my
first time
God.
I've made deviled eggs as well, and it's it's actually extremely easy. I thought this was funny. This is some behind the scenes content that Peyton puts in our group chat. Like Millie, how much did you use of each ingredient? And Millie's like, I just eyeballed it. Just taste it, you go, you'll be right. And then, like hours later, Peyton's like, I've Googled how much butter I should put per egg.
And it's too much butter.
Too much butter. And I was like, I also just eyeballed it. And so Peyton's the kind of cook that needs like direct instructions.
Yes.
Did it all work out? Did you use that much butter or did you edit it?
No, I only used like a tablespoon, and honestly, I could have used even less. It
Yeah.
was very buttery. I had to then add other ingredients to disguise a bit of the buttery. Like maybe I
Right.
want mayonnaise more than butter. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, like that potato salad-y vibe then.
Yeah.
Did you use like the confectioner's squeezy thing so you get the little, 1970s
Absolutely not.
swirl?
Absolutely not.
No.
I used a little spoon and I didn't realize eggs aren't sticky. Like you try and put
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
stuff
right.
in
They're
the
quite
middle of the
dry,
egg
right?
and it like doesn't stick to the egg.
All right, now did you make the spider?
I did.
Oh, well done. What did you use?
I-
Did you use creamy soda?
I really loved the one that we made, but I just had to use what I had, and that was vanilla ice cream and Coca-Cola.
Oh, classic. It's a classic one.
It's a classic one.
Yeah.
It's my
I
first
used
sip
the
of
leftover soda from when we made them, and then I put vodka in it, which children don't do at home for YA month.
tears. Are
Yeah,
children
our
allowed on here anymore?
notoriously young adult
No,
audience.
no. Yeah. No vodka raspberries for you.
No.
We all know YA audiences hate vodka raspberry.
Yes. Especially the kinds of readers who are reading YA at the moment.
And
I didn't make it. I have my trusty water bottle as always because I thought this was going to be the easiest. I can definitely make
Lose
spider.
it.
It's going to be our
Yeah.
easiest drink of the year. And then I went to pull the ice cream tub out of the freezer and someone had left it clearly on the bench. And so it had all melted into this like slab or like brick of
It's like not
on the
ice cream
bottom.
anymore at that point.
No,
It's icy. It doesn't taste good. What are you thinking, Abby's family?
I know. And immediately I was like, this is going in the bin. I wrote ice cream on the shopping list and I went, no spider for me. So
Yeah,
sad.
I haven't had dinner yet, so I couldn't jump to ice cream yet. I can't do it yet. I can't do it
Oh.
backwards.
Oh,
Oh, I know. But I will
Before
drink
and
lots
after.
of red coloring and be really hyper.
Yeah, vodka before dinner is fine.
It's fine.
But
Mellow me out a little. Okay, so let's talk about the book. So Olivia, we actually had on 2 weeks ago. She came to talk to us, and we actually did Plastic Budgie for one of our books of the month when we did memoir. No, not memoir. Which was it? Memoir?
I don't think
It wasn't the book
life
of the
writing.
month.
I don't think I was a book of the month.
We just
but
did
we
interview.
interviewed. Yeah.
I felt like it was.
Right.
We talked about a lot, so I felt like it was a
It
book of
felt
the month.
like a very significant book for the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we loved it. It was one of my
Yeah.
books of last year. And so Olivia wrote this memoir called Plastic Budgie about growing up in Adelaide. And then she also won the AAWP and Spineless Wonders Novella Prize last year for Eggshell and was published this year. And it's a YA kind of fiction version of similar material of like growing up in Adelaide. What year is it? It's quite retro. It's great.
It's
2007.
in the 2000s. Yeah.
I had my youngest child in 2007, and so that era is a slight blur for me, but it felt quite 90s at times. Like the music's quite 90s.
Yeah.
So I was
Yes.
into that.
Love the music. Yeah. It's timeless.
So this is
Also, sorry to interrupt. I was
No,
just
it's
going to
fine.
quickly insert in there that she's also got another book coming out, I think,
yeah,
with
a
Big
couple
Short
more, I
Spice.
think. I feel like I
Oh
saw
my
it like
gosh.
Machine.
Yes.
And I
one
will
is
be
a
I will
poetry
be
collection.
purchasing all of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read the blurb for Eggshell. Set in 2000s Adelaide, Eggshell tells the story of Kira, a sarcastic, cynical teenager living in the council house with her Cantonese grandma and her rebellious older cousin Jake. The novella starts and ends with Kira's experience of year 12, where she's caught between two worlds, being a subservient Cantonese granddaughter and a big brother watching boy crazy Australian schoolgirl. That might explain Peyton's backdrop for those of you watching the video. Peyton is in Big Brother tonight. Eggshell is a young adult novella dealing with themes of identity, racism, romance, sexuality, and adolescence. And I found it very original in, like a Bildungsroman mean, it's not quite a Bildungsroman because we don't see her to get to adulthood, but we see that kind of transitional moment of year 12 is like most YA books do that. And yet this one is kind of really original. So I was wondering what you thought of it.
I loved this read. I think we spoke about this when we spoke to Olivia directly, but it was really like a strange feeling reading a YA book set in places that I recognize, during a period of time that I recognize. And so, yeah, I was like, I know these places. I've been to these places. It felt
Yeah.
very, very like if I had read this as a young adult, it would have felt like reading about me in the moment in a way, and like my life in the moment.
And it's just for those people not from Adelaide, our university is actually in that area. Like Flinders, the area, like that's our area. So a lot of us, the people we kind of engage with on a daily basis at uni are from that area. So
Mm.
it felt very true, I have to say. Like I really recognize the people.
I'm one of those people who, like, I related a lot to Abby in one of the episodes this month about how, like, most of what I've read has been so American or British. And it's weird how that kind of puts an idea in your head that you just won't like something set in Australia because it'll feel too real or
Mm.
distracting somehow. But this really did not feel like that at all. It was so immersive, even though it was so familiar.
Do you think partly that's because it is such a realist text? Do you know, like it's not trying to do like a Nickelodeon version or a,
Yes.
there's certain kinds of fictions that are turning the color up and are
Yeah.
escapist.
And I
And this
do
is
feel
not an
like,
escapist book.
no. And I feel like that I went to an author talk recently, someone who writes Australian crime thriller fiction, and she was saying how she is often advised to kind of turn up the saturation a bit because that really appeals to the overseas market, which is
Yeah.
really interesting. And I feel like being an Australian, I feel like I wouldn't vibe with that as much as something that just sort of like lets you just take it all for granted and forget about like where you are because it's just familiar, it's just home.
Well, it's nice to recognize places like obviously you've got I don't know, the culture like of even the Chinese restaurants felt so familiar, right?
Yes.
And then
The
I don't know,
uniforms.
the waiting for the bus, like the way Adelaide's public transport is so bad that she's always waiting for a bus. Like it's not like you just get on a bus. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool. And then the Exeter was in it, which I love. And the whole Rundle Street kind of scene. And it really looks at class and race in a way that's quite unflinching.
I really
Yeah, and
appreciated
because
that.
I'm always reading, like as I said, I'm always reading more American. Like I don't read a lot of Australian fiction, which I will endeavor to change now. But to read about like classism and race in my here and now was very, as someone who is white and middle class, was very not confronting, but it was like I should be reading more of this, felt like in the moment.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a lot. I mean, that's the thing I think that's so interesting about Olivia's book is how it makes you realize how little there is. Do you know? And it does exist, it's doing a very, heartwarming narrative. It's
Yeah.
like I thought what was interesting. So for those of you, just to refresh memories, if you read it a while ago or you haven't read it yet, is she lives in a council flat and she has been abandoned by her parents. She doesn't know really who her father is, and her mother left, and she's with her grandmother, who she really doesn't understand totally because of the cultural divide. She doesn't speak Cantonese very well. So you get this kind of interesting view of your relationship to your culture. Like, what is her culture in this?
Mm.
Because she loves like emo music, and she, um, how is she different in
Mm.
terms of culture when she's kind of alienated from her own culture as well. I thought that was really interestingly done.
It's interesting to think about how you don't see your own culture really, any of us. Like it's always other people who have to point it out to you
Yeah.
as well. But then this is a character who like her culture and what it is and what other people think it is pointed out to her all the time by
Mm.
from all ends of the spectrum.
I thought the classroom scenes were amazing.
So good.
Like the microcosm of Australian culture in the class, like the English classroom was incredible.
I
Yeah, it felt like I was sitting in a classroom. It was
yeah.
so Because I feel like the fact that I recognized a lot of the stuff that was happening made it even more immersive. Like I was like, oh damn, I'm back in high school. I'm sitting in this classroom and this is what happens in these classrooms.
Did you
Yeah.
find like I don't know, the complexity of friendship too was so spot on. The idea way you can kind of be in your friends' lives like so entangled, like they're on MSN Messenger back then,
Oh,
but the way they're like entangled in each other's lives, but also they don't really have any idea of what's actually going on in each other's lives.
Yeah, there is so much going on with Kira that just is never shared. But then also with the friends, I feel like even as the reader, you've got no idea what's going on in those friends' personal lives outside of what's happening because it's so centered on Kira's internal
mm,
being. Yeah, with the friendships, you really don't. It makes you wonder, like, how many of my friends do I also know nothing about really in reality?
yeah.
Well, as someone who's gone to some pretty advanced high school reunions, do you know, like 20 years, 30 years?
You
It
you
is
bothered to
amazing.
go?
Yeah, I'm so curious. The first one, I lasted 15 minutes and I went home. The second one, had just turned 40, was getting divorced and had lost my job. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going. I refuse to be ashamed of myself. And I just went and I was like, you're staying as like for as long as you can. And it was actually really good because I didn't feel like you get there and you're like, oh, everyone's got issues. And the thing about getting older is you people start letting their guard down because everyone's been through some knocks, right? So in
Mm,
this book, Kira's probably more mature than a lot of her friends because she's going through something really, really hard
Mm.
with her grandmother dying and caring for her grandmother and sort of then not having anyone to care for her. Like she's left with her cousin. But you kind of meet these people and then they let their guard down and they tell you what a shit time they were having in school. And you're like, I would have had no idea. You look like your life was so together. You were one of the popular kids. I had no idea you were being bullied. I had no idea this was happening to you. So I do think there's a real wisdom in this book about high school is such a time of identity performance.
yeah. And selfishness, but like I don't mean that in a judgmental or bad
Yeah.
way. Like I think especially if you are going through something, like I wasn't having the best time in high school, and even as I was going through it, I was like, I can recognize that like the depression that I'm experiencing is making me selfish because I just the way that my brain is like chemically right now, I can't see beyond
Yeah.
me really and like my crap. But like I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I think, and selfishness is like a necessary thing at that age. I think like your brain has not, like you're so busy trying to work out who you are and how you cope with things,
Yeah.
and you feel very looked at as a teenager too. I feel like you feel very surveilled by
Mm,
everybody. Like that goes away as you get older. Like you don't necessarily feel like when you step out of the house, everyone's noticing your hair or your body or the way you talk or but I
mm,
feel like she really captures at that age. You really are aware. She's always aware of every of her body, particularly. I thought that was good too, that you see Kira
yeah.
comparing herself constantly to all the other girls in her life.
Yeah, that was so refreshing to actually read that on the page for once, because often people try to go the almost like toxic body
Yeah.
positivity route, where like a person is recognizing their body, but in an extremely overbearingly positive, obnoxious way that just does not feel
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that resonated because clearly she, she can recognize her looks enough. Like she doesn't hate herself. She's just
Yeah,
kind of commenting on bits of her body, like my stomach doesn't look like that, or my
yeah,
thighs don't look like that, or um, and she kind of recognizes the systemic origins of everything too. Like she's a really switched on kid.
yeah. And she just
Mm.
keeps living her life. Like I feel like that's one thing I didn't do very well is I would let all of that self-consciousness just stop me
Yeah,
point
me
blank
too.
from everything ever. But I love that she's not like that at all. That's why I wish I read it at that age. Maybe I could have learnt something. But, whatever.
Do you think there's something to the appeal of the book to being that it was set then and there's not social media in the same way? Like there's just Messenger. It felt very, I mean, I was old when it came out, but I felt very nostalgic to me.
Yeah, you're right that
Yeah.
it did have that 90s feel. Not that I am knowledgeable of the
You weren't even
90s.
born.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess so because I imagine if there was social media, I mean, even then, if there is social media, the things going on in Kira's life wouldn't be accessible. So social media just adds like an extra identity onto, like, I imagine teens now who are on social media as often as they are still, there's still this like barrier, this persona, and
Yeah.
social media seems to even amplify that.
That would have been super hard for her in the book if social media had existed. Because how do you curate your life when you're living the life she's living? Like, what do
Mm.
you post?
Yeah, how do you pretend to be into the music that you're pretending to be into if you're social media?
The algorithm will give you away.
No way, yeah.
Aphrodisiacs.
Yeah.
I love that moment so much.
So good.
Has anyone got that to read? That was such a good moment. I
I
thought
feel
I'd,
like
Probably
Peyton
do.
posted it as a quote somewhere.
yeah, it's
I
so good.
did. Oh my gosh, I just turned to a page that says
Oh,
Dolly
I have
Model of
it.
the
I
Year
have it
competition.
here. It's on page
Yay.
Nice.
64. Do you want me to?
Yeah,
So
give it a
good.
read. It's so good.
Yeah.
This is so funny. Okay, I'll start on page 63 just to give a little bit of context. But excuse my reading to anyone listening.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. And if Olivia is listening, excuse my reading. It says, "What are you listening to at the moment?" he asked, bumming out his cigarette with his heavy Doc Martens. My mind went blank, and I didn't want him to think I was a baby who lived for the top 40 like most of my friends did. I like that Whitlam song a lot. You know, the one about aphrodisiacs? Tried to remember the last cool song I'd heard. This guy talking about missing his dog and his girlfriend over a soft piano was the only thing that came to mind. Sam raised his eyebrows, looking at me like I was an extraterrestrial. What? I asked, my cheeks flushing. Do you mean aphrodisiac? Which is so funny to me because those sorts of moments happen to me all the time.
Oh, yeah, same.
Like, especially as someone who, like, most of my language, I've like my reading and everything has made me learn my language. Like all of the words I know are from books. And so
Yeah, you've
when
never heard them pronounced.
when I
Yeah.
read them in my head, so like subtle, which I'm sure I've spoken about on the podcast before. I
Yeah.
used to say subtle instead of subtle
I
because
used to
that's
say
how it's written.
ecstatic instead of ecstatic, and this girl laughed at me at school. And I just remember being so embarrassed. But then the teacher was like, that just shows her vocabulary is bigger than the people around her. And I was like,
I
good put
love
down.
that.
Love that.
It came up in a conversation with one of my friends recently. My friend was like, "Yeah, sometimes you say words, and I just pick it up on context." And I'm like, "What words am I still mispronouncing? You're just kindly not telling
All of
me."
them, Abby. All of
All of
them.
them. Uh,
Okay, let's talk about Sam since you brought Sam and his aphrodisiac into it.
Oh,
yep.
Sam.
Oh,
Olivia's just said
Sam.
thank you. Great reading in the chat. So thank you, Olivia.
How do you feel having the author watching you?
Not
Yeah.
great.
The author is in the house, the Big Brother house. Oh my gosh.
We all need to go to the little room now and debrief.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so Sam, so this romance, it's so genuine, it hurts. It's so teenage, it hurts.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
I was like cringing the entire time, which I feel like you're supposed to a little bit.
Yeah, and you can just like
Yeah.
oh my God, the vulnerability of it, like the little acne spots and the fact that he's just such a try hard, but you kind of feel for him and you see why she likes him, but it's like he's not like your romance hero where he's in a soft focus. You just see all
Yeah.
his like vulnerabilities as a teenage boy. It's really sweet.
And
Mm.
it felt so authentic how she can kind of see all the things that are wrong with him as well, but she likes him anyway. I was like, that's
Yeah.
what it's like when you have a
Yeah.
crush on someone. And you know, when
Yeah.
you're like afraid to tell anyone about it because
Yeah.
you know what they'll say and you won't be able to say they're
Right?
wrong.
Yeah.
It's like when you tell someone and they're like, "Oh, show me the social media," and you're like, "No, the photos
No,
are."
no, because it's cringe. You can't.
Yeah, they don't take good photos.
You have to ignore this and this and this
Yeah.
aspect about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't still have that poster on his wall. That was from a couple of years ago. He's way over that now.
Absolutely.
I loved his ex-girlfriend too. What was it? Was her name
Oh,
Lauren? But she
poem?
calls herself Poem.
Yeah.
And the
Oh
beret
my
and the go to
God.
France and the like, oh, but then the
Yeah.
racism of it, like the awful
Yeah.
mean girl Like just the low blows. Like when they're at the
Yeah.
Exeter, so because she's gone on their, is this their first date? He takes her to see his band.
Yes.
As someone who
Risky.
dates someone in a band, I think I would have been like, okay. Because being the girlfriend of the guy in the band is a lot of sitting around by yourself. It's a lot of being on your own. Um, but yeah, when he takes her to see his band and they go to the Exeter, which she's never been to before, and she's all dressed up, and the way her friend is like got her all dressed up, like done her makeup and given her shoes. Well, she says she looks like a hooker, and she's like wobbling in there, and then his friends are mean to her. And oh
Mm.
man, I was so proud of her for walking out. I was like, yeah, I
Oh,
Yeah.
would not have done that at that age. I would have sat there just being bullied.
right. I
Mm.
reckon I would have just like quietly like taken it. I would have just taken it quietly and then left at the end of the night and been like,
Yeah,
wow, it was a terrible
yeah,
experience.
It's also just so nuts how people can deliver that kind of cruelty. And it happens throughout the whole
all the
book, and it's
time.
so casual as
Mm,
well. Especially things that aren't just bullying, but they're racially charged, they're
yeah.
racist things to say.
And it
Um,
happens to Kira all the like you said, constantly. Like they're just constant
yeah,
little jabs and
never
digs.
never stops. Yeah, she can't catch a break. I'm always really shocked when when I confront that in real life as well, because I'm so lucky that all of my friends are switched on, would not say something.
And are probably having witnessed some of them are happy to be called out too. Like
Yeah,
if someone says like that's they'd be like, oh, okay,
yes.
and
And
think about it.
it's so much more, and this is coming from someone who is never going to be on the receiving end of that kind of thing. It's always so much more relaxing to be in that environment where you feel like you're on the same page as everyone. To
Yeah.
be in a different environment where there's just this really casual hostility and cruelty, it's just like my mind will be buffering for a few seconds after someone
Mm.
says something like, what world are you living in? How are we so different and seeing things so differently?
But then
Um,
living in this country, you
yeah,
see it all the time. So
yeah. It's like I understand and yet I don't.
I'm still, yeah, I feel like I do occasionally get shocked by it because I have surrounded myself now with, as you were saying, Peyton, these like specific group
bubble of
of
people.
people, these people who I, have faith in and we share the same values. So that when I do step out of that and I experience or witness, I should say, um, something, I'm always, yeah, a little bit shocked that it still exists.
And that's, I think, one of the great powers of the book, right? Is that it like reveals privilege so clearly.
Mhm.
Like when you're reading it and you're like, oh, I have not had that experience, or this is a different side of Adelaide, or I mean, I think there's such a power in that we're just not seeing enough voices and enough Australian experiences. Like that we get a very curated, narrow version
Yeah.
of what like Australian youth, childhood, high school looks like. And I thought the other element of that, and that's where I want to come back to like YA and young adult kind of stories, was the removal of all soft focus. Do you know, like there are these moments of connection. So again, spoiler alert, if you haven't read it, we're going to go there.
Mm.
But obviously, Kira's grandmother is dying of bowel cancer, and by the end, we see her death, right? Like they're there at the deathbed on the night of the formal. And it's not soft focus and it's not like they have a moment of connection that's lovely where Kira reads her the story. But it's not going to make you feel better. Do you know, it's
Mm.
not there as a cathartic moment, really. It's still messy and horrible.
Yeah. And it's also like on the other end of things, it's not fetishizing trauma, or it's not like
Mm.
trauma porn, that the way that the characters just keep on surviving, because that's all you can do. Like, and we just keep surviving, and your life doesn't become completely, utterly bleak when you're going through something really traumatic.
There is a line about that, and I should have earmarked it. I might have because I've got some doggies where there is talk about how it's not bleak. I think it's in her story where she's writing that story and she talks about loss and
Yeah.
yearning and stuff. And I think she does say it's not bleak. Yeah, it is around there. It's the letter. My grandmother is dying. It could be any day now. That's what they say. Despite this, she's not afraid and is the strongest person I know. When I was young, my grandmother told me that when you die, you pass on a piece of your soul to the people you love. so you can live on without them forever. I've been dealing with death my whole life. She kind of talks a lot about death, but there's not this sense. I've been struggling to find the words to describe the emotional tone of particularly the last third of the book because it's not bleak, but it's stark. It refuses to let you assimilate grief. Like things are just bad. Like this is just, you cannot spin this any other way. This is just awful for her.
Yeah, it feels like the book's very blunt with you, and not in an unkind way, but it's just
It's like, don't sugarcoat this. Don't sugarcoat
yeah,
this. It's not sugarcoatable.
yeah, there's no sugarcoating at all, which I guess you can feel in like just the tone of the book and the way it's written in general from the get-go. Like even the first page, it's very like blunt in its description of what is happening in the classroom. And no sugarcoating there. So
So that was my question, really, I guess, next around YA of like, that's very rare, I think, that you can find a book written for a young adult audience that resists sugar.
yeah, I feel like we've been talking about that all month because we've been talking about like dark themes in YA and how young adults often don't even read into YA, they're reading other books.
Mm.
And I think it is because there is so much sugarcoating going on in YA, and that Olivia was talking about wanting this to be gritty, and be a grittier kind of what Olivia would have wanted to read at the time. And it feels like that has been achieved, and I do wish there was more of it.
Yeah,
I
because
keep
it kind of gives you a mirror, right? Because like young people do go through all the things older people go through, like violence and death and other things. And so it gives you a chance to go, oh, I'm normal. The way I'm feeling is normal. I cut you off, Peyton, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just going to say something that I keep saying everywhere else, which is that this book feels very Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging meets The Catcher in the Rye. Like the
Which Olivia would
protagonist,
love, I think.
I really hope so, at the risk of pissing her off. I just feel like the character reminds me so much of the protagonist in Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. And then I guess the grittiness of it and the sorrow of it reminds me a lot of The Catcher in the Rye.
The
And
and the isolation, the emotional isolation.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like feeling like you're all alone and having to adapt to something really new but really, really difficult.
Yeah. Which means the moment where Sam hugs her, outside the exit, when he hugs her and she can hear his heartbeat, and she's talking about how I don't remember ever being held this close to someone before, has this incredible emotional power. And it kind of redeems him, even though he's kind of a dick for
Yeah.
dating her for like wanting a cultural experience.
Yeah. I have to say, like probably from the like the burnt CD that he gave her, I was like, okay, I see
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I see. I get it.
Has anyone ever given you like a playlist?
No.
Is that on your bucket list that you want someone to give you a playlist one day? Do you think you'd make one for someone the minute you were like,
Probably not the minute.
yeah?
It would
So
be
you'd have to know
Instantly
they
like,
felt
hold on.
you wouldn't do the risky bit yourself. You'd wait until you knew they were into you and then you'd do it.
I feel like I feel like someone creating Peyton a playlist would be like,
Oh, sweet Peyton off their feet. Like
yeah,
you
but
would
also it
be
would be a scary
done.
thing to do because Peyton has such like a specific music taste.
Oh yeah, and I would have said Peyton would be so kind about it, but now I know you road rage. You might be so kind and then go away and be in the Big Brother room like, oh my God, what is
Yeah.
this song? Why would
I'm
you
al-
open with that?
I'm also not I don't know, I'm not a romantic lovey-dovey person at all. So if
Yet.
someone did that for me, I'd be like,
I don't know. Hopefully I'm around when you get one. And what would be the song they'd put on there that you'd be like, absolutely not. I can't talk to you again.
oh, like in a bad way, or in
Yeah,
this is
in a
too good,
bad
I'm gonna run
way.
away. But
No, in a
okay.
bad way of like their music taste is so questionable. I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, that's actually really hard.
It is
It
because you're
feels,
very open to most music.
yeah, it feels
It'd be a
mean to
country
behind
song
anything.
for
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
for
probably.
Peyton.
Country.
And
Like like Luke Combs or something. You're like, oh.
oh, yeah. I'm not huge on pop music, but if it was there, I don't know, there's some
Like
pop
if it was
music that I
boy bands of the
love.
world.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like I can't diss any musician.
No,
They're
you don't
gonna
have to get
know.
specific.
Yeah.
You just say genre.
Yeah, probably pop or country or something
Yeah.
like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, what is this crap?
Yeah.
No.
I can't really do
Not
dance
really.
trance music that like the boof
Oh,
boof. Nah.
yeah. EDM.
Nah,
Yeah.
that no, no. My brain
Mm,
feels like a hamster running in a wheel. I don't like it. This
yeah.
reveals how unrelaxed I am.
I'll listen to anything. So
I was gonna say what?
But I think there's judgment happening in there. I do think there'd be
oh,
something.
I'd be judging, but I'll listen to anything. And I feel like if someone went to like the effort like Sam does and curated that for me and then gave it to me, I would do exactly what Kira does and I would
Yeah.
go home and I would listen to it
Yeah.
time.
But
Like
then the question is, like, when someone makes you a playlist, are they trying to tell you who they are, or are they trying to tell you who they think you are? Like, are they
Ooh,
trying to curate things that they think you'll like, or are they just saying these are my favorite songs?
I'm so selfish, it would just be my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Like
It's a good way to
you
show who you
should,
are.
yeah, you should listen to these. This is
Yeah.
now your
I feel
taste
like
in music because this is
un
what we're gonna listen to for the rest of our lives.
unfortunately I would be performative.
People pleaser.
Yeah, like I would, yeah, I related so much to Kira in when she's like, this
Africa's
song sounds
yes.
like a song that I can think of in the moment that would be cool.
Oh,
This is a
yeah,
cool
yeah,
person song.
yeah.
That would be me. Like I,
At that age, that would have
at that
totally been
age,
me.
Yeah. You know what that made me think of though is like how much I noticed this with people around me as well when they tell me what they were like as teenagers, how much you perform something until it becomes true.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
I know people who were like, I hate contrarianism, but they were contrarians. And so whatever was popular, they would do the
Oh,
reverse. But that
yeah.
is genuinely what they love and who they are now, those things that they
That's so
turned
funny.
towards. Yeah.
Wow. I was a goth when I was a teenager. Yeah.
Love.
It doesn't really fit my personality.
Well, you did say you were a drummer, so God
Yeah, it
means
was.
drumming.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I had a great pair of docks, the original docks before they sold out that lasted me like
Oh,
25 years. They lasted forever.
so
Oh,
good.
awesome.
They're not around anymore. They've got very uneven hills. You couldn't walk in them anymore. And then they got like holes and they were wrecked.
I kind of want to grab my docs to show you how trash they are. There's no sole on the bottom. It's
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
And
flat.
I
Yeah.
bet you that's not 25 years of wear.
No, it only lasted 10. I feel robbed.
Yeah. I wore them everywhere, every day, to everything.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was 42 degrees out, the dogs were on.
What about the reverse for you two, though? What song could someone put on a playlist that would make you go, "You're the one"?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know. Do you know? This is probably too much information, but Jonathan actually made me a playlist before we got together.
Let's cue it up right now.
Yeah, I've still got it.
what's on it?
Yeah, like all kinds of indie rock, as you'd imagine. But he did kind of do a mix of things he liked and then things he thought I'd like, which was nice.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
but some very like the Eels were on there. I remember Elbow was on there. The Shins,
Yes. Oh, the
Big
shit.
Velvet, Big Velvet. It was a real mix of indie stuff.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
feel like if I received a playlist and it had a K-pop song on it, not because I don't actively listen to K-pop right now, but I feel like liking K-pop is a litmus test for me.
Yeah,
Like
right.
like
He at
it's
least has to care that you like it.
yeah, and the fact
Yeah.
that there's a K-pop song on the playlist tells me a lot about the person because there's such a stigma around K-pop.
Mm.
Depending on the K-pop song that it is.
Not in this group, there's not.
No, not in this
No.
group.
That's like cats and vegetables. If people don't like those things, there's something wrong.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah,
Actually, I
Yeah.
had
yeah.
this with my kids today. We went out to lunch and they were getting nostalgic for when I was a single mum and I was super busy. I'd buy those steam packs of vegetables that I just put with every meal they had to make sure they had vegetables. They were so nostalgic. They went down to the shop after and bought some to have tonight so that they could have their steam pack of vegetables.
That is crazy.
Yeah, just plain steamed.
But I support them
The
and I
vegetables,
understand
yes,
the
and
nostalgic
cats.
aspect of it.
Yeah. Everyone in this group
Yeah.
has cats, so yes.
Oh my God, we do.
Well, they've
Love
linked
that.
not liking cats to like, there are links to misogyny. So it is.
See?
Well, there you go. It
Knew it.
explains all the Tinder photos of people with dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, a
Yeah.
man with a cat, different, says
Mm.
something different.
Yeah, it does.
Every time a woman dislikes cats, I just think that's internalized misogyny. There's
Oh, it's
something
like
going
when
on
women
there.
say, I really don't have any female friends. It's like, oh, you're missing
Yeah.
out. They're the best.
Yeah.
All right, back to the book.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah. So yeah, I
strategize
was with
music
you.
playlist.
When he gave her the playlist, I was like, oh, he's all right.
Yeah.
He's good. And I did like that he sat with her and he clearly has not processed his mother's death either. And
Mm.
like he was just a fully realized character.
Mm. He felt like such a safe space, both as a reader in the book and then
Yeah.
actually within the book for her. Like he was a really good, not escape, but just safe.
Yeah, nice. And the way he just sit with her in the car park,
Mm.
like give her a space between work and home and just sit there with her.
Yeah. I
And the way he
also,
like when she says stupid things, he's like thinks it's a joke. Like, oh, you're
yeah.
so witty, you're so funny. And it's just like, does he think it's a joke or is he being kind?
I also liked how in the beginning you don't know if he's kind of a bit cocky and like
He definitely is that as
absent and
well.
stuff. Yeah, but then you realize how awkward he just is
Yeah.
and like there are moments in there where he blushes and he's really shy and he's fumbling his
And he's
words.
putting on a total front. I love that his
Yeah.
band started without him when he chased her. I was like, wow, that's brutal because bands don't usually do that. They would wait. So the fact
Yeah.
that they started the set without him was amazing.
We are going to run out of time soon. Peyton, did
Oh,
you have
Peyton.
any
Oh,
PowerPoint you wanted to pop up?
oh my gosh, we are running out of time.
We are.
I can't
Yeah.
believe we
See,
did that. Only
I
three of
know. We
us.
can tell the others that we don't really need them anymore.
Well, now
Yeah.
that
Except for you,
I,
Millie. We need you, Millie.
yeah, we need them. Now that I know how to run the tech, we're good.
Can everyone see it?
Yeah, you have to read it loud for the listeners, though.
Oh, of course. Okay.
So we've got a
So
PowerPoint up, everyone.
we've got a PowerPoint. We've got some book club questions. The first one is, in honor of Olivia de Zilva and Amy Kaufman, what are some first times you've experienced recently?
Can you let us know what you mean by first times?
It was something that Amy Kaufman was talking about in terms of why YA is so resonant even for adults and even for her as an adult writing them. And how the teenage experience is inherently everything is a first time, like you're doing everything for the first time ever. And she pointed out that that never actually stops. Like when you're an adult, you're constantly doing things for the first time. I think one example she had was like when you're a teenager, it's your first day at school. When you're an adult, it's your first day at school drop off and you don't know any of
Yeah.
the other parents there and stuff like that. So that's the context.
I recently, everyone in my life knows because I am unfortunately one of those people where I start doing exercise and I'm like, I go to the gym. I'm one of those really annoying people. And
I get up really early, guys. I'm up early.
Yeah,
I'm off to
You're
swim.
actually
It's like-
not.
happens.
It's just that what happens is we plan something on a day and you go, I can't do
I
that day.
can't,
I
I'm
have to run my
sorry.
5K. And then we're like, you're running 5K? And you're like, yeah, I've been like practicing for a marathon.
But I just recently in the last month started going to a public pool for the first time. And I went on my own the first couple weeks and it was actually really daunting, but that was felt like a first time. Like the first time going to a public pool on my own. And I spent hours beforehand Googling like lane etiquette because there's lane etiquette as to how you should appropriately swim when there are other people sharing the lane with you. And I remember because it was my first time, all of the lanes were full. And so I sat like on the benches in front of them, like eventually a lane will free up. And it got to the point where they made a couple new lanes and the lifeguard came over to me and he was like, darling, here, look, I've made you a lane. And I was like, wow, this really is the most awkward experience I've ever had. And then I started swimming and he came over and put a slow lane sign in front of me.
Do you still need that though? I bet you don't still need that.
No,
I
I
bet you
don't. I'm
graduated.
in the fast lane. But no, it was very awkward, but I've been doing it every week ever since. So, but that first moment felt, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not knowing the rules, right? Like, what are the rules here?
Yeah. And you survived, even though they called you
You did
slow
it.
and they had to make a lane just for you.
Yeah. And now every week they're like, look at her go. She gets better every week.
We've just had someone in the chat as well say it was the first time getting a credit card not that long ago, which is a very
Oh,
adult thing to get.
yeah, that is pretty full on.
Oh, I
I
don't
don't
even
have a
have
credit
one.
card yet, and I
Yeah.
don't plan on it because that is a very adult thing to get.
I'm really bad with money. So I don't know if I should
There'd
get
be a lot
one.
of concert tickets happening.
There would be.
Yeah.
There already
First
are too
times.
many.
I don't know. Probably the only thing that's leaping to mind for me is like meeting people around the world on Zoom for the first, like doing a lot of first meets with people.
Yeah.
Which are
And
always really awkward,
I know,
right?
and like I am not great at first meets or small talk. I think I'm good at like after you've met me a few times and I loosen up.
Mm.
But yeah, that's been interesting. Like it is a bit like meeting the first school mums. Like how do I present myself? What do I seem like? Like how do I
Yeah.
be friendly but not overly friendly?
You just go right back to being a teenager.
Yeah, and
It's
often
so
they're at like
annoying.
stupid times of the morning, like they're like 6 a.m. or 10:30 p.m. and neither of which
Of
I'm at my
course.
best.
Because you're Mr. Worldwide.
I am. I'm Miss Worldwide. I am like conquering the world, one Zoom call at a time.
Yeah. The only first time I can think of is making deviled eggs today.
Oh, and you did it.
I
And the
did
cat
it.
has really enjoyed them.
Yep, it's a miracle they're still here. The next question is, what lessons could you stand to learn from teenagers? This is hard. I don't actually know any. I
Attitude.
just
I
so
really,
curious.
really like seriously, there is serious attitude on teenagers. Like even if it's coming from a place of anxiety, they
Mm.
radiate an attitude at you.
You
And
could
you
do
want to
with a bit of
acquire this
attitude.
attitude?
I want to acquire an attitude.
Yeah.
I want to walk in the room and people go, "Ooh."
Already succeeded, baby. That everything I could.
Olivia has just said that she just parallel parked yesterday.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's
I
so
hate
good.
parallel
I
parking.
avoid parallel parking like the plague.
It's the worst. So
I
that's
parallel
pretty
parked for
impressive.
my test and never again.
I do it very rarely, very, very rarely, and only if no one's watching. What about you,
I'm,
Peyton? What could you learn from a
oh,
teenager?
oh no. I want to steal yours. I feel like the adaptability. I think young people, even really tough things, you just kind of bounce back, I feel, or you find a way to get through them because it's kind of all you can do. But I think when you're
Yeah,
an adult, you've spent at that point so long in your bubble and in your habits that it's hard to adjust to bad things and good things, just as long as they're new. Anything new, good or bad, is just really hard to adjust
yeah.
to. So I'd like to be better at that.
Time blindness too, like the way that, they don't have a sense of time in the same way, so that they're
Yeah.
very in the moment.
Oh, that's so true.
Abby, how about you?
Yeah.
Oh, I struggle because I feel like I'm really stuck in the phase of there are so many things that I wish teenage me had known and had been able to do. And so I struggle to look back on it as what could I have learned from teenagers
Mm,
I want to apply now. I'm more like I want younger me to do all these things, which
I
is
would also like to learn what the hell they're saying. Like, I don't understand half of what they're saying anymore. What is this jargon? And what are you laughing at me behind my back? Probably. But they do,
probably.
they talk, and I'm like, I don't know what that word is. I don't know what that means.
I do
They
think I'd
say,
like to adapt. Like, I feel like when I was a teenager and teenagers in general are way more out there with their creativity in general as well. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of you box yourself in creatively. Like, you consume so much content that like what I'm putting out no longer feels original.
Yeah.
I feel like as
yes.
a teenager, you don't have that as much.
I also feel like that's reminded me of how that really bad book that I wrote as a young teenager. But like I thought I was the shit. I thought I was such a good writer. But you know what's sad is
You
we were
probably
talking.
were.
No. We were talking to someone at an event recently who works in a library and so talks a lot with students and teachers. And apparently these days, because of AI, a lot of students doing creative writing assignments are judging their quality of their writing so much more than students used to because they now compare it to what ChatGPT can produce. So I don't
Which
think
is usually pretty
teenagers,
bad at the moment. I'm sure it's going
yeah,
to get good, but it's pretty bad right now.
it's pretty bad. You don't even want to write like that. But so they use it because they're self-conscious about their writing. And I just thought that was so interesting and so sad because when I was a teenager, I was bad, but I thought I was so good. Thought I
Yeah.
was great.
All right, next one. Are we going to run out of
Next
time?
one. Since you were a teenager, what about you has changed and what has stayed the same? I feel like I made really difficult
You
questions.
did, Peyton. I feel like you always do this. You just like pull
You
out these
patented it.
questions during a live that we've never seen before.
I think a lot about me has changed. I don't think you
Mm.
stay very similar. Like your life changes you a lot.
I do
Agree.
feel like mentally, like when I talk to my parents and people who are older than me, they always say that mentally you remain kind of in your 20s or you're like
Yeah.
you don't really
You
your
don't feel
body's
different.
aging, but you don't feel different.
But teenager, I think you feel very different from
Teenager
when
is
you're a
very
teenager.
different. Yeah,
Mm,
I agree.
I
I think
agree.
you gain some mastery and some confidence and things. I mean, because school is such a cesspit. Like it's such a microcosm. And some people say you do well there and you really like it. Then you step out in the world and it's not like that, right? And so either way, whether you hated it or loved it, it's the world is not the same. But it's such a it's just not the real world. And then I remember leaving school and being like, this is amazing. Like, no one's judging me all the time. No one's got this
Yeah.
fixed idea of me. Things I think are cool, other people think are cool. Like, yeah,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm much the same as I was when I was a teenager.
I think I have the same goals as when I was a teenager. I've
yeah.
I wanted the same career, and I wanted to like I wanted a PhD. I wanted to be an author.
Really, from a young age.
Yeah, yeah. And so that has stayed the same, and it's which is really wild now because I'm achieving it.
Yeah.
But I feel like my approach to friendship is probably the most different. Like I bounced friendship groups a lot as a teenager, as teenagers do. And I feel like my understanding of what friendship should feel like is much more different now, like how I treat others and how I expect to be treated.
It's what
For
we
our
would do.
listeners, the next one is if
Yeah.
you were to give a mixtape, what songs would be on there?
And you already know the answer.
Yeah. I think with me,
Yeah.
like during the period of time, like grade 8 and 9, it would have all been Fall Out Boy, which is so different now.
Oh, no.
My kids went through that phase.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What was
Yeah.
and is your emo song of choice, guys? What was it? What was
Emotional.
it when you were in year 12? I was heavy into The Cure, and it was
Oh,
1992, and it
yeah.
was the year they released Wish and toured. So it was all Cure all the time. And it was
I
albums rather than songs. It would have been Disintegration over and over.
I feel like I listen to my emo songs now. Like I've got into
You're
sad
in your emo
music
phase now.
now. Yeah, I'm having that emo music phase now. I listen to a lot of like C Rose, which feels really sad and emotional.
How
Uh,
about you, Peyton?
I don't know. I feel like my emo songs were usually not slow. They were things like I listened to a lot of 3 Days Grace and Offspring. One that
Is it
is
Celine Dion, really? Like when you really.
how did you know?
We
I
saw The
really
Darkness recently, which
yeah.
like they are incredible live, like just mind-blowing. Everyone should go see The Darkness, whether you like them or not, like incredible. But he started singing a song and I was like, what is that? I know that. And then I was like, this is incredible. Like I want a copy of this. This is the best thing. And it was Celine Dion's The Power of Love. But he did it as like a rock opera kind of glam rock thing.
Oh,
It was incredible. It was
that is so
amazing.
cool. I love that song already as it is.
Yeah.
That's on my karaoke
There
playlist.
you go.
amazing.
You and Justin Hawkins for the win.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we've got My Chemical Romance, Mayday Parade, and lots of Green Day in the
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah.
good.
That Green
Love
Day
that.
song, The Time of Your Life, came out the year I was in year 12, I think, because it was just on
Oh,
repeat.
yeah. I really liked the song The Funeral by a Band of Horses.
Oh, I love that. I saw them live once. They were great.
Oh,
Yeah, love that.
so jealous.
Yeah, that I love that whole album.
Yeah. Have you heard of Speedy Authors?
No, writing that
No.
down.
Well, there was one song of theirs that I listened to called No Below. The lyrics, I remember there was a friend I showed it to at the time and she was listening to it and her face was, listeners aren't going to see the face, but she was kind of like,
Yeah, there's like a polite nod.
yeah,
Dismissive polite nod.
you should be a writer. You're good at
Yeah.
describing things.
All right, are there any more?
I feel like that might be the oh no, that's really the last one. These were extra questions that I felt like were too serious.
Oh,
Okay.
let's read them out for people.
So I
Can you
didn't
think of a
format them.
moment that made you realize just how much a loved one means to you? Do you think you see members of your family fully or accurately? I don't think you do see members of your family fully or accurately until you're in the moment of separating from your primary family of origin, which doesn't happen to your late 30s.
Mm,
Late 30s, 40s is usually the age that happens. So I think you will think of your family differently in different decades of your life.
that makes a lot of sense.
These are great questions though, Peyton. It does
Yeah.
feel like the book asks sort of those kinds of questions of you.
Yeah. And the way love in the book, the way you can see, like the way she sees her grandmother and her cousin, who's really her brother, the way she sees Jake and her grandmother so clearly with all their flaws, and they're not always nice, but the love is so strong. Like you just feel the love come off the page. It's a
Yeah.
great book. Everyone loved it. It's going to be one of our books of the year. Eggshell, Olivia de Silva. Basically, Olivia, we're going to be reading everything that you write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure
If
whatsoever.
if you're a follower of the podcast, we will always have Olivia.
Now we have some little bits of business. We're running out of time, but I'm going to try and do it really quickly. Before I wrap up though, Peyton, do you want to advertise an event we've got coming up?
Oh, sure, I'll try.
Try and
So,
see if you can summarize it.
yes. So based across the two universities in Adelaide, we've got a queer theory reading group. And basically, the long story short is that we're putting together a very casual, very fun colloquium online, inspired by heated rivalry. So it's one full day and it's on May 14th. People anywhere in the world can watch. It just might be a very awkward time for you, but
Yeah, it might be
please
late at
come.
night.
Yeah. But it's
You've
going to
all
be
been there
really
and done that,
exciting.
Australians though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
So
got some
it's
really
payback.
amazing keynotes. Do you want to announce your keynotes?
Yes. So we've got two keynotes to kind of bookend the day. The one in the morning is from Professor Jonathan Allen, who is cited in basically everything
Everything.
that we've
He's a
done.
romance scholar, talks about men masculinities in romance, queer romance, just like he's everywhere when you come to romance.
So good. And then at the end of the day, very, very special, we've got the Australian author Darcy Green, who wrote After the Siren, which is an MM romance based in the AFL, men's AFL. So it's kind of been described like the Australian heated rivalry, which
Yeah,
is
so it's
really fun.
going to be an amazing day full of lightning talks. So people just giving little snippets of their research and their thoughts about heated rivalry. So if that's your jam, we'll put up some information on our socials with links. And you can come and join us. And Peyton's been a powerhouse organising it. So we've got a few things. Next week is an After Dark. So I'm just going to announce it. We're bridging from April YA month into May Dragon month. We're going to do dragons, and we have monocle black gooses to shape a dragon's breath, which is like so original and cool, and actually does kind of bridge YA, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's a YA novel.
Yeah. And so what we did for our After Dark this month is tried to bridge YA and dragons, and we watched Dragonheart. So you can join us next week for a discussion of Dragonheart, the movie from 1996, which I had not seen somehow. And we had a great time watching that. So we're doing that. And then I need to let you know that we're not going to be running lives anymore, which is really sad because we have enjoyed them. But as you can see, there's only 3 of us here tonight.
Yeah.
And everyone's lives are getting crazy busy. So a couple of people, one of whom's here tonight, so you're like really hats off, Abby, are submitting their PhDs in the next like 3 months or so. So are really at crunch time. A couple of other people have major milestones and other things going on as well. So as their supervisor, it would be hugely negligent of me to overwork during a period they've got to be
Not to
finishing their
mention that
PhDs.
Amy yourself are very busy at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dying of a deadline right now. It's amazing that I'm not wearing a cap and no makeup. So we're also, the other reason is Abby pulled some of our data recently about our listeners and viewers, and the vast majority are actually overseas around the world, like countries from Vietnam to Iceland to
Yeah.
everywhere. So a live doesn't actually serve most of our audience because they can't tune in. So we will continue doing the book club, but it will be a pre-record. And then what you can do is we'll put up some prompts on our socials so that you can send in questions, comments, anything you want us to talk about the book, and we'll incorporate it into the episode. So we'll still be as interactive as possible, but this is our last live for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Won't be our last live forever though. So
No, and we may actually do an in-person live show at some point.
Yes.
We have one booked this year. We might end up with more than one.
Yeah.
And Millie, Justina, and Harry, we missed you enormously. Turns out we didn't need you, but
yeah,
we
look,
missed
we're
you.
doing great. The bit at the very beginning of this where you can hear the
Yeah.
double audio didn't happen.
We can edit that out. We can edit that out for the final, like when we post the podcast, so no one will even know. Thanks for joining me, and thanks Olivia for being in the chat.
Yes,
Thank you everyone in the chat
cool.
today. It was a very lively chat. Appreciate you all.
If you haven't got your copy yet and you would like to get it, go grab it now. It's so good. I would love to support Olivia as much as possible because I think she's one of the biggest talents in Australia today. I'm going to hold up the other book too. So Plastic Budgie, which came out last year with Pink Shorts Press, which is the memoir. Eggshell, which came out this year. Both of them are just incredible reads. And I don't know how to describe it. How can you read something so fast and yet it's so deep? Do you know?
I know. I read Eggshell ahead of this month, a couple months ago, and I think about it all the time. So, and then I was just rereading Plastic Budgie, and it pairs so well. And then you think about both of them while you're reading the. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So high, like 5 stars. Highly recommend. Would read again.
Would read again. She packs a punch with her little books.
She really does. Wow. Yeah, they are books you think about a lot. Anyway, we've really enjoyed YA month. We'll have to revisit YA. But thanks for joining me, Abby. Thanks for joining me, Peyton.
Thank you.
We will see everyone soon. Amy And is hosted by Amy Matthews, Abby Guy, Peyton Hogan, Justina Ashman, Harry Stewart, and Millie Heffernan. This podcast is recorded on Gardenland with music by Anthony Wignall and Mass Wisteria. Our logos and branding are designed by Abby Guy. This episode was edited by Abby Guy.